Welcome to The Home Show, where we discuss all things home magazine on WLNI. Looking for design inspiration, delicious fare, home improvement tips, or hospitality ideas? All from local experts? You've come to the right place. The Home Show is presented by Piedmont Floor Show. Take your next step with them. Find them online at PiedmontFloorShow.com. Now, make yourself at home. Here are your hosts.
Hello and welcome to The Home Show. I'm Trish, publisher of Home Magazine, and I am joined this morning with Kira Ryder, our art director, and Ashley Scammerhorn. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning. Whoop, whoop. Homegirls in the house.
We are here to take over.
And Rich is not in the studio today. I have sent him out to buy a grill, and I'll explain that a little bit later.
Ooh.
But if you are a first-time listener to this show, we are all about Home Magazine, and Home Magazine centers itself around everything related to the home and focuses on design, improvements, gardening, and how we live in our homes. Our magazine is free to all. We mail to many in our area, and it is available at businesses all over Lynchburg. So check it out. If you haven't picked up the spring issue, you've got about a week left to do that. Because
hurry.
Yes, because we are launching the summer issue right around June 1st. So we are excited about that, and we'll kind of be jumping into that more next week.
It's crazy, yeah, because summer's not until towards the end of June. But yeah, the summer issue of Home comes out June. So when you hear us talking about, hey, we're diving into summer soon, it's the summer issue of Home, and you better get your hands on it. And if you haven't gotten the spring issue, you only have, a week left.
Yes.
So go get that and then pick up the summer issue. Okay,
Yes.
That was a command.
That was That is from the mouth of Ashley. Do it.
And as we observe Memorial Day weekend this weekend, please just take a moment to reflect on the lives of those who have served and died in the U.S. Armed Forces. This is a special weekend, and it's a nice long weekend. Does anyone have wonderful plans lined up?
I'm going to the beach.
Okay.
So I'm absolutely thrilled because I feel like it's been forever. Mm-hmm. So me and my sister and my mom are taking a little girls trip to Virginia Beach this weekend. Headed out pretty soon. And
that will be fun. Which beach are you going to? We say the beach, Virginia Beach. Okay,
yeah.
Virginia Beach.
I'm a little bit partial to North Carolina beaches, Outer Banks, but we're going to do a little bit quicker trip this time.
It is a lot more
It's a little
convenient.
closer.
Yeah. It can be, depending on traffic, as we all know. Mine is we're just throwing a little kind of barbecue situation this afternoon. We just moved into the house in early April, and this week we decided, you know what, we're gonna do some pulled pork. We're gonna smoke a whole pork butt and make some pulled pork, do some corn on the cob. And
are you hosting a big group? Is this going to be your first?
It's not
house
an
party?
actual big housewarming party, but just some close friends coming over and hanging out and having a few drinks, eating some homemade pulled pork, and I'm very, very excited about it. With the brand new smoker that we bought this week.
Yes,
Wonderful.
Nice and chill.
What kind of smoker did you get?
It's a Pit Boss.
A Pit Boss. Very cool.
Yeah, it was on sale. It might still be on sale at Lowe's today. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So check it out.
Has it been pre-tested, or are you doing it just today, winging it?
Oh, no, it has been pre-tested.
Okay.
That was an adamant thing Chris had, was very much, no, I'm testing this out before we do anything. Yeah. Because there's a lot of people relying on us for pulled pork today. So yeah, very excited.
So,
we've pre-tested it. Everything's going well.
Good.
So far. Good to go.
You're braver than we are because Mason's graduating from high school in a couple of weeks, and I am terrified to try and do that ourselves, knowing that we have to feed a lot of people.
Like a smoker or like a party?
Just smoking, like we talked about doing pulled pork and stuff. But what if it fails? What if we don't have the meat ready? We've had some not so, the last couple of times we've tried to smoke things, it has not really worked out very well. So
some people say it's blasphemy, but you can do it in the crock pot too.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you have a backup butt, or you just
I failed on that too.
It's not falling apart. I don't know. I've heard people doing that. It might be blasphemy. People who are tried and true smokers on the grill, but if you got a crock pot, you got a backup plan at least.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it you or Rich that did it?
Rich does the smoking.
He does the smoking.
Yes. Yeah, I wouldn't know how to do that. But even like my crock pot pork butt failed. I don't know what I did wrong. But it was very frustrating because that's an expensive piece of meat, you know? And if it doesn't work out, it's not only are you hungry, but you're just literally throwing it in the trash.
We also, because there's a bunch of kids going to be there too, we also have a full supply of backup hot dogs.
That's a great plan.
Yeah.
There's that too, just in case. But I think it should be fine.
Yeah.
I think so.
Wonderful.
And I'll let you know next home show how it went.
Yeah. Very good. Well, we are spending our weekend getting ready for our lacrosse family who will be with us on Memorial Day as our kids kind of get ready to take on a local team. But I think right now we have about 55 people coming to our house. So it will be a fun time.
That's a big old party.
Yeah.
I think I know 55 people.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I think we have like 12.
Yeah.
And I don't know half of them.
And luckily we're
Is
getting
it like
tons of
an
help.
indoor-outdoor thing?
Yes.
So they're not all
Hopefully.
going to like crowd in.
Hopefully that the weather will cooperate to do
Yeah.
that. But yes, it'll be indoor, outdoor, and everybody's bringing stuff. So we're just kind of in charge of the meat, and that'll work out just great.
I can see for that crowd not wanting to test something out like that.
Yeah.
That's a little bit different than
Yeah.
what we're
So
doing.
what meat are you
good
guys
luck.
doing for that?
Oh, we're just doing burgers and hot dogs.
Burgers, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
smart.
And everybody likes it. You can't go wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we have a great show lined up for you today. We will be in studio with Claire LeFew, Jill Mollohan, and Michelle Thomas with the Lynchburg Humane Society. And we are also going to be with Sarah Girten Saunders and Kevin Saunders with Girten Saunders Interior Design. And the Lynchburg Humane Society had a nonprofit spotlight on pages 58 and 59 in the spring issue. And Sarah and Kevin were kind of one of our local experts for our wallpaper article. So we're going to just take a deeper dive into that. And before we do that, we're going to take a quick break, but we will just listen to Your Next Step with Charles Snyder of Piedmont Floor Show.
It's time to figure out what your next step is on the Home Show. Presented by Piedmont Floor Show.
Charles, with all that rain that we've had, do you guys have flooring products that are kind of geared and better suited towards these type of conditions?
It's unfortunate. This is a time where we get a lot of business due to the heavy amounts of rain and flooding because folks have things happen that have never happened before when you get 3 inches of rain in 24 hours. My neighbor had an event at their house, tree fell, crushed their roof, water all over their hardwood floor. Hardwood floor doesn't react very well to moisture, right? A lot of moisture topically. So it's cupping and buckling and all the things. And so the only real products that truly aren't overly susceptible to an excessive amount of moisture inside your home are a VCT typically can handle getting wet, but that's a very commercialized look. Glue down luxury vinyl plank can handle it pretty well. You can get the water moisture up, and ceramic tile is your best bets inside the home. Outside the home, tile, stamped concrete, turf, because it's designed to have the holes and filters through the stone aggregate down into the earth. Glue down carpet on your porches is still a big thing. So that material handles the excessive amount of moisture well because it gets wet and dries. That's what it's designed to do.
What are some signs that you should look for if you have water coming in the basement?
The smell. You start
Okay.
to smell a musty smell if it's sat for any period of time. You can look for buckling, crackling under your feet as you walk across items. The telltale sign on carpet is you step on it and it squishes under your feet. But smell is a big one because stagnant water, after it sits for a little bit, that moisture starts to just create an odor. And that's a big one. We can walk in basements and walk in homes sometimes and be like, ooh, they've definitely got a moisture issue somewhere. Let's figure out where it's at, if it's in our workspace or not. Discoloration in your walls, and then stuff starts to happen near the baseboard. You can get some surface mildew.
Take your next step with Piedmont Floor Show. Find them online at PiedmontFloorShow.com or on Facebook at Piedmont Floor Show. For more design tips and ideas for your home, follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Home Magazine VA. Welcome back to the Home Show, presented by Piedmont Floor Show on WLNI. Heard it on the Home Show? Find it anywhere you listen to podcasts and at WLNI.com.
Hello and welcome back to the Home Show. I'm Trish, publisher of Home Magazine, and here today with Ashley and Kira. Kira's a special guest this morning, and our studio is full right now. We have several friends here from the Lynchburg Humane Society, and we had a nonprofit spotlight in the spring issue of Home Magazine, and you can find that profile on pages 58 and 59. And now I just want to introduce our guests. We have Jill Mollohan, Claire LeFew, Michelle Thomas, and Winnie. And Winnie is a foster fail. She is a sweet dog, and we are happy to welcome all of you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So and Winnie says hello as well.
That was perfect.
So Jill, let's start with you. If you just want to introduce yourself and what you do at the Humane Society.
Yeah, I am the executive director since 2022, but I've been with the Humane Society since 2010. And basically have done almost everything there. So it's been great, and I absolutely love my job. And yeah, that's me.
Wonderful.
Hi, I'm Michelle Thomas, and I'm the Director of Development in my 4th year with the Lynchburg Humane Society, and it too is my dream job. And Winnie belongs to me.
Hi, I'm Claire. I'm the Development and Communications Manager at the Lynchburg Humane Society. I'm in charge of all things communications, like our website, social media, email, a lot of the places you see us, and then also help with fundraising.
Wonderful. And one of the main things that we focused on the nonprofit spotlight was a capital campaign that you are all currently working on. Jill, why don't you, or Jill or Michelle, talk to us about that?
Sure. We are about almost a year into our capital campaign. We started last summer, and we're raising funds to build a low-cost regional veterinary clinic, and it will be on our campus here in Lynchburg. We'll be moving our existing spay-neuter clinic, which is in Evington, Virginia. It's about 30 minutes away, and so when we have to transport our pets down there for medical care, it's very stressful on everyone. And so we need to move that and expand that and offer more services and low-cost veterinary care to the public.
That'll be really great to have everything kind of in one area.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you guys had a goal to reach $7.5 million to raise. Where are you currently at with that?
Great. Awesome. We are so excited because in the last 2 weeks we've gotten an additional $1 million gift. So we're now at $4.6 million of the 7.5. And so we can break ground once we hit $5 million. So we're really making a push right now to get that additional $400,000 so we can hopefully break ground, August, September.
Wonderful.
So how can people help if they're interested?
Donate. No, seriously, you can help in all kinds of ways. If you, any donation, any size, we have naming opportunities from $100 to $2 million available. You can also help us by, if you see us asking for a donation on our social media platforms, share that, share so that the word gets out there. And like our posts on social media, come and adopt, come and donate, come and volunteer, all the things.
Wonderful. And there is a QR code on your profile as well in the magazine where you can scan that too to donate. So what are some of the services that will be offered at the new veterinary clinic?
So we're definitely going to keep and expand our spay-neuter services. We are typically about 3 months booked out currently up in Evington. So it's really needed in our community. And that'll reduce the amount of pets that come into our shelter or even neighboring shelters that are already overcrowded. And then we will be offering wellness things like vaccines and, the heartworm test, things that you get done, once a year at your regular veterinarian. We'll be offering those at low cost. And then we also have sick pet things like if you have your pet, has a little bit of stomach issues, we'll help with that. It needs to have a surgery. If we have veterinarians there that have that specialty, we'll certainly offer that at low cost prices. We currently do dentals at our spay-neuter clinic now. And we're not able to do a whole lot. We do them 1 day a week. So we will be expanding those as well. We'll be offering end-of-life services, which we also do right now, cremation and euthanasia for those pets that are, at the end of their life. And we will actually have a special, very comfortable room for that with a private entrance and exit so the families can mourn the way they need to. Lots and lots of different things that are really needed in this community, and a lot of things that we see pets being surrendered to us for when owners can't afford them. So we really just want to keep the pets and their families together.
Right. That's great. So if you have an animal that wasn't that you didn't get through the Humane Society, can anyone take advantage of those services that you have?
Yeah, if you need those services, then yes, we will probably maybe offer discounts to adopters. We're not sure exactly what we're going to do yet as far as that goes, but it's definitely low cost, and it's there to serve everybody that needs it.
This is Michelle again. Hey, I'll just add that according to the census, 21.2% of people in Lynchburg live in poverty, and a lot of those people are forced to be separated from their pets because they can't afford vet care. So our focus will definitely be on providing free or low-cost vet care to people in need.
So you guys are also a no-kill facility, so a lot of what you do is adoption. You talk about in your article in the magazine how pets can actually have like health benefits to people. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so, there's a lot of different, you can't even go into them all because there's so many benefits, but mental health is a big one. Depression, loneliness, things like that. Exercise, you're going to increase your exercise when you have a dog. And it's just, there's so many different things like blood pressure. It's been shown that having a pet will lower your blood pressure, help prevent heart disease or lower your risks. So there's just so many different things that pets do for their families.
We've had a pet growing up since I can as long as I can remember. Just we're kind of more of a dog family, but it's so true. Like they're so happy to see you when you get home, and I can see how it definitely can just lower your stress level. They're just, I think a lot of people are pet families, but
I've read about how like cats purring on you can actually like heal you, and like when you're sick and stuff. I'm like, that's crazy, but okay.
They're important in lots of different ways. It's remarkable.
That's really very interesting. We are speaking with Jill Mollohan, Claire LeFew, and Michelle Thomas with the Lynchburg Humane Society. And Winnie is in here as well. So switching gears, let's talk about the Humane Society a little bit, just where the animals all live. Describe your adoption process and what's involved with that.
Yeah, usually our adoption process, especially if you already know what pets you're interested in, can take as low as 20 minutes. It's pretty easy and simple. You can come in, and our adoption counselors are trained on matchmaking. So even if you don't know what pet you want, you can tell them a little bit about what you're looking for and what your household is like, and they can match you. And we have so many great pets in the center. We surely have a great match for everyone. And then you'll go through a process where you meet them. We get a little more information from you, and then you can take them home. We also offer adoption trials. So that's a short-term foster where you are just seeing how they fit into your household. And then about a week later, you can make it official.
Wonderful. What is your screening process when you receive we like? I would assume that you kind of know if you do like other animal tests, just so you get to know that animal too before you.
Yeah. We have a great community resource team, and they always get background information as much as we can possibly get on pets. When we get in lost pets, it's really a mystery to us, their background, unless we're able to find some information about them. So we take all of that history. We go through it with the adopters. We have a behavior team that will do what we call dog tests. They'll see if dogs are a good match for playing with other dogs. That's also a great way to enrich their lives. So if we do have dog-friendly dogs, we'll give them playtimes. We don't do cat testing in the building, and that's just because it's kind of a poor indicator whether they'd actually do well with cats, because everyone's just really stressed, and we don't want to really stress out the cats. But yeah, that's how we do it with the history.
Wonderful. And I suppose if you have foster families, they may get exposed to cats that way. And you can
yes, foster is a great way, especially if people can't commit to like a long-term fostering. We do kind of weekend fostering with dogs to find out more about them. That's called tutoring. But usually our foster lengths are about 2 weeks up to months, depending on the type of animal. But being in foster really helps us learn more about them.
Okay. If you were interested in becoming a foster family, what does that process look like?
Yeah, to do the foster application, you can find it under the Get Involved tab on our website, or you can stop by if you have some questions in person before you do that. But it's really easy to get started.
Great.
Asking for a friend. Do you have any kittens available? And are there certain times of year where you would have an influx of that?
Yeah. So right now is that time of year, luckily. Not luckily for us, but luckily for kitten adopters. Yes. So over in the next 2 weeks, I believe we're going to have close to 100 kittens graduating from foster, and that's where they just went into foster pretty little, either with their moms or on their own until they're 8 weeks old, and they are graduating. So that's just a health check and that they're old enough to be adopted. And coming back to the shelter, right now they're getting adopted really quickly because it's right at the beginning of kitten season. But come end of June, July, we're going to be begging you to come and adopt kittens. So now is definitely the time to keep an eye out. In the next couple weeks, they're definitely going to start rolling in.
Wonderful. How many animals do you normally have at the shelter for adoption?
It can really be anywhere between 350 to up to I think 600 or 700, but we can have up to 1,000 when you include the foster homes in our custody.
That's amazing, and the fact that it's no kill is even more amazing. Yeah. So yeah, that's wonderful.
Do you guys have any events coming up?
We do. We have July 11th, we have a Hillcats game, and you can support the Humane Society and the Hillcats by buying your tickets through our link. So you can find that on our Facebook page under our events, and that's going to be really fun. We're going to bring out some pets. It is a program that the Hillcats do with nonprofits, so there will be other games throughout their season for other nonprofits, which is really great. Then we also, all summer long, we have Camp Happiness, and that's for kids 7 through 12. We have 6 weeks of it. All the weeks are currently still open. A few are getting pretty full. So check that out if you have animal-loving kids or just some kids that you really need out of the house. And then also coming up in September, keep an eye out for a cat cafe event that we are about to start promoting with the Lynchburg Parks and Rec.
Wonderful.
I'll add one more thing that's really popular. On August 8th, we have our Paw Casso Sip and Paint, which you come for 2 hours and have a little drink and paint under the instruction of an artist and their kittens running all around the whole process.
And is that at the Humane Society?
It's at the Humane Society, and you can sign up now and get the tickets on our website or Facebook.
Wonderful. Claire, just jumping back to Camp Happiness, can you kind of expand on that camp a little bit more? Because we are getting to the point where a lot of parents are probably going to be looking for activities for their kids. So what does a day at camp look like from time?
Yeah, absolutely. So every day looks a little bit different because we try and pack our camp with special educational guests. So sometimes the guest is me, and we make a little pot because I have some pottery experience. We also sometimes have Nature Zone. We always have Lynchburg water resources. So they're not only learning about the pets in our building, they're learning about their environment. They're learning about water and our ecosystem. And then also they get to spend a lot of time with the pets at the Humane Society.
Wonderful. In the last minute or so that we have, how do people find more information about the Lynchburg Humane Society?
Yeah. So our website is lynchburghumane.org, and that is a treasure trove of a bunch of information. I would definitely check out, if you have pets, you can check out our pet owner resources. There's also links to keep up with the capital campaign on there. There's just tons of information. And then also always our most trafficked pages are the adoptable dogs and adoptable cats. So if you're looking to adopt a pet, just those update automatically as soon as we get pets in. So just keep an eye on there to see if your new best friend's on there.
Wonderful. Changes every time you go visit.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thank you all so much, Jill, Claire, and Michelle with the Lynchburg Humane Society, and Winnie. We will be back with the home show right after this.
Thank you.
We're talking about everything and the kitchen sink. Stay tuned to the home show, presented by Piedmont Floor Show. You're listening to The Home Show on WLNI, presented by Piedmont Floor Show. Grab your free copy of Home Magazine at a location near you. Learn more at homemagazineva.com.
Welcome back to the Home Show. We just once again want to thank Claire, Jill, and Michelle Thomas with the Lynchburg Humane Society and Winnie for joining us this morning. And if you missed any part of the show, if you missed that great segment, you can find the show on WLNI.com or anywhere you listen to podcasts, or follow us on social media at WLNI Radio. Next, we are going to switch gears from the Humane Society to a wallpaper. And in the spring issue of Home Magazine, we have a wallpaper article. It's actually a feature, so it was on page 26. And we had two local experts for this article just to kind of help us out with it and just talk about trends and what's new. And we have in studio with us, we have Girten Saunders and Kevin Saunders. Welcome.
Thank you.
If you each just want to talk, you have two separate businesses, but just, talk to us about what each of you do.
You go ahead.
I am a wallpaper installer for 30 plus years.
I bet you've seen a lot of changes.
I have seen a lot of changes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We'll jump into trends. Sarah, how about you?
I'm Sarah of Sarah Girten Interior Design. I've been doing it about maybe 15 years.
Okay.
And I ended up marrying the wallpaper guy.
Wonderful. It makes things easier for you, I'm sure.
I
for
know,
both of you.
but I do still have to wait on his list, unfortunately.
Okay.
Try to squeeze him in a little faster, but there's still a list.
Oh, that's too funny. And you both, just some fun facts here. Sarah, you were named as one of the top Virginia designers by Architectural Digest.
Yes, ma'am.
And share a little bit about that.
That was a few years ago, but that was probably one of my biggest accomplishments.
Okay.
It just one of those big national magazines, and seeing my name in with that was really just a true honor.
Were you nominated for a particular project or?
Nope.
Okay.
Just, I don't actually know how they got that, but I got a call from Architectural Digest and about fell out of my chair afterwards. Tried to keep my cool, but then afterwards just had a little freak out of excitement. It's having anybody who has a business knows it's hard, and moments like that make it worth it.
Yes,
for sure.
Yes, for sure. And Kevin, your work was featured in Better Homes and Gardens.
That is correct. It just by luck, I guess. One of my clients were having home and gardens come to her home, and I had done several rooms in her home, including her main foyer and stairway. So it just worked out perfectly for me.
Wonderful.
It ended up on the cover.
Oh, really? So what issue was that? Do you remember?
Then I think it was last December.
November, maybe?
Yeah, last December, maybe.
Yeah, very good. That's exciting. All right. So just kind of jumping in, let's just talk about current wallpaper trends that you're seeing.
I think color is back. Just not wallpaper, just all over. I think color is back, and seeing that makes my colorful heart happy. I'm ready to get rid of all the neutrals and bring back a fun pop of color. People, I feel like, have always been using color in their like a little powder room or little laundry rooms, but seeing it as an actual focal wall is one of the biggest changes I've seen. I think people are doing more wallpaper. He'll say it's never left. It's always been in style, but I think people, especially younger people now, I think are open to it.
Yeah.
And just seeing more of it, which also makes my heart happy.
Right. It's such a fun way to add color to your space.
It really transforms every space. And I always joke around with Kevin that he's always the good guy, because when he shows up, everybody's so excited, and he does his job and leaves, and it's just an instant wow. And it can just really change a space and really replace the need for a lot of artwork to give the space character. It's its own piece of artwork.
Right. And that's kind of one of my, I would think it's really hard to put a nail in that.
No.
That's been one of the things that's held me back, because I have pictures, and I'm just like, I'd probably be command hooking everything to try to get it on, because I'd just be scared to put a hole in it.
I know people get nervous about it, but it's just the same as putting it in sheetrock.
Okay.
Would you
just make sure it's dry?
Yeah.
Correct.
Are you seeing more like of the like repeating patterns type wallpaper, or like more of the mural look?
I think it's both. I think the repeating pattern but bigger patterns, I think you see more of. But the murals are a really fun way to add, really just transform and create that vibe that you're going for. Like I've seen some really beautiful nursery murals that just kind of take you away to this like garden oasis type of thing. So I think there's good uses for both of them. Murals tend to be a little bit more pricey, which I think is why people start with the regular wallpaper and kind of head towards the mural direction.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of murals in nurseries as well. Where else are you seeing them in the home?
Dining rooms are a great spot for them. Even bedrooms.
Yeah. Just did a bedroom yesterday.
Okay.
The big spaces, because it can really, really transform that space. And it creates interest because not every piece of it is the same.
Yeah, and I think you had mentioned in the article, too, that a powder room is a great place to use just a really bold, big print, which is interesting because it's such a small space.
Yes.
So why is it good to use bold and big in those smaller spaces?
To me, that's a powder room and a laundry room are those fun spaces that are allowed to be a little different than the rest of the house. You can have a bold vanity, you can have a fun mirror, and it still be cohesive with everything else you have going on, but it's a place that you can kind of take a little risk and be a little bit more exciting because you just close that door and then when you open it up, it's like, oh, this is great.
And I feel like because it's smaller too, it's not as like intimidating of a project. It's like, oh, this is a little space. See how I feel about it, and then it's kind of the first step in.
Yeah, you're absolutely right because it is such a small little space. I have a very bright color, which I would never put anywhere else, but in the powder room it works.
Right.
So
yeah, bigger spaces with a lot of bold colors can be kind of overwhelming, but in that fun little powder room, it's like your little oasis to go in there.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so let's just talk a little bit about the different types of wallpaper. There's peel and stick and pre-pasted, non-pasted. There's lots of different options out there. What are some pros and cons of each type?
I'm going to let Kevin handle the other parts. I'm going to touch on the peel and stick because he has very strong feelings against it.
Let's not go there.
I'd like to go on record and say if you call Kevin to install your peel and stick, he's not going to do it.
Okay.
It's it has its purposes in certain spaces where you're renting and you can get it down, but it is kind of like putting up a decal. And think about all the bubbles you have when you just put up a little decal. It's like that times your whole room. And it doesn't have the maneuverability that regular wallpaper does on the wall.
Well, I think pre-pasted exists because, I think the general thing with that was the homeowner did not have to, what type of glue do I use? I mean, where do I get the glue? So they could come out with this, where it could just add water to it. In theory, it was supposed to be easier to install, but it's really more difficult than non-pasted wallpaper because it expands, it contracts, it makes a mess. So, my opinion, non-pasted is the best.
Non-pasted is the best. I'm underlining that.
At least for future.
I think that pre-pasted has its own. I don't think it's a bad paper.
Correct.
I think it's just a little trickier for a homeowner to install. Kevin doesn't get it wet to install. He uses paste anyway, watered down paste for that. So it's not making a mess in your home if you're using pre-pasted. But for a homeowner, it can be a little trickier.
Okay. Do you find that, say you come across a design that you just absolutely love, is it available as a peel and stick, as a pre-pasted, as a non-pasted?
It depends on the company.
Okay.
Companies like Spoonflower have the option for all of that. But like a Tebow, which is one of my favorite ones, with classy patterns, they do not. Theirs are, I think, all unpasted.
Correct.
Okay.
So it just depends on the company.
Okay. So you said, go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, if someone's decided, okay, I want to do it, I want to do wallpaper, how do they know like when they should hire a professional to install or when they could be like, oh, maybe I can do that myself?
When they're deciding if they want to get a divorce.
Especially with
I've
the
heard
peel
that story many times. So my advice is if you're going to, attempt to do it yourself, leave the husband or the wife out of it and try to take it
Solo
on.
project.
Solo project, correct.
I mean, I'd like to think I'm a very crafty person. Wallpaper's always been something that's scary for me because unlike a gallon of paint that's $40, $50, if you mess up, oh well. Wallpaper can be expensive, especially if you're doing a bigger space. So to me, that's one of those things I would call a professional for, because taking the liability of my own paper that's expensive, to me, it's worth spending a couple $100s to have somebody do it than me do it and mess it up and then be grumpy about that.
Right. Where would you suggest if somebody was going to no, I'm going to do it, I'm going to learn how to do it, where would be a great first project?
I think start with your YouTube app open and a little bathroom. Never mind. I take back the bathroom. An accent wall, just a wide open accent wall.
Correct. Or either a dining room that's just above the chair rail would be less difficult.
Okay. Okay.
What's the most difficult?
Probably bathrooms and kitchens and maybe a real high foyer where you have to extend to 14 foot. They can be very difficult. And a safety issue.
In the article, it mentioned a little bit of the more unconventional places like ceilings.
Ceilings are definitely difficult.
So pretty. They're so pretty.
It's like a unique look. And it's like you don't expect it. And then it's like, whoa, that's awesome.
Correct. And you definitely need 2 people to handle a ceiling. It's very difficult.
I would not start the ceiling on your journey of starting wallpaper.
And not with the husband-wife duo.
No.
We do have an example of a ceiling wallpaper that we just found out in the break is in your dining room. So it's on page 29. And my question for Kevin is, what do your arms feel like at the end of the day after that install?
Not good. Fortunately, most wallpaper hangers have shoulder issues. So far, knock on wood, I haven't had that issue. But after a day of hanging a ceiling, I certainly feel it in my shoulders and my elbows and my neck, everything upper body.
Yeah.
He has to smooth out every single piece of that ceiling with his smoother so there's no bubbles, so it's tight. So it's not just putting it up there. You have to touch every bit of it, and it looks exhausting.
Right. And it should be noted that it will not go on popcorn ceilings. So if you have that, Kevin also doesn't remove popcorn ceilings.
That is correct.
So call your handyman for that. We are speaking with Sarah Girten Saunders of Sarah Girten Interior Design and Kevin Saunders with Saunders Wall Covering. And you had mentioned a couple of brands earlier, Tebow and Spoonflower?
Yes.
Okay. Where are some of your other favorite places to get wallpaper?
I get the wallpaper from the vendors directly and can order samples and do that. But some of my favorite companies to use are, like I said, Tebow is definitely one of the top ones. York Wall Covering is a good one if you're starting out and you want something that's not going to break the bank. They have some really lovely designs as well. They do offer peel and stick too if somebody wants to try that from home. And Schumacher is one of my favorite go-tos. It's not one of Kevin's favorites to install, but it's beautiful. And Cole and Son. And anything by the Kravitz line is great as well.
Wonderful. Thank you. Any places where you shouldn't wallpaper in your home?
Actually, you should wallpaper every wall in your home, if you want my opinion. I think, maybe a garage.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Maybe a bathroom without an exhaust fan.
Okay, I was trying to get to that. So you would need an exhaust fan for sure.
You would want one.
Okay. And if you have an exhaust fan, those rooms can still get pretty steamy with a fan. So is there a particular wallpaper that is better than another?
Well, what's important is to leave the fan running 15 minutes or so after you've taken a shower and let it pull all the moisture out. Because, when you're taking a shower, it's fighting the steam from the shower head. So important to do that after the shower. Maybe one with a timer, or come back and cut it off after 15 minutes. That will prolong the lifespan of the wallpaper.
Okay.
How long does wallpaper usually last?
If it's installed correctly, anywhere from 15 to 20 years with low maintenance. You just
Just got to keep that fan on in the
Got to
bathroom.
keep that fan on.
You
Correct.
wouldn't want to use a woven product like a grass cloth in a bathroom either.
Okay.
Even with an exhaust fan, if you're religious with the exhaust fan, you still really don't want to, because if you look at your walls after a shower, there is going to be some condensation on that.
Right.
And you don't want that on a paper, like the actual woven paper, which is
Okay.
grass cloth. But they have plenty of the faux look grass cloths that are vinyl that are great for that too.
Okay. In the last minute or so that we have here, just one final question for you, and then we'll just learn about more where we can hear more about you all. What does your maintenance look like on wallpaper once it's installed? How do you take care of it?
There's really no maintenance. Honestly, yeah.
That's
There's
good.
really no maintenance.
If it gets dirty, you can use a magic eraser.
Very gently with
Okay.
the magic eraser
Okay.
on some material.
Great. All right. So how do we learn more about you, both of you?
You can follow us on social media, Sarah Girten Interior Design and Saunders Wall Covering. I also have a website, sarahgirtendesign.com.
Wonderful. Well, thank you both for joining us today.
Thank
Thank you.
We'll be back with more of the home show in just a few moments.
We'll be right back. In the meantime, check out our latest issue of Home Magazine. Visit homemagazineva.com. Now back to the Home Show, presented by Piedmont Floor Show. Make yourself at home.
Welcome back to the Home Show. The Home Show is presented by Piedmont Floor Show. Take your next step with them online at PiedmontFloorShow.com, on Facebook at Piedmont Floor Show, or drop by their showroom on Timberlake Road and tune in for your next step each week on the Home Show. We just once again want to thank Claire, Jill, and Michelle with the Lynchburg Humane Society, and Sarah Girten and Kevin Saunders for talking about the wallpaper article. It's been a great show. Kira, next week, who do we have?
Well, coming up next week, we have our spring issue showcase homeowner, Tony Perry. And she's going to drop in and talk about her cozy cottage. And then we also have Corey Argentino with Earthright Mid-Atlantic, who's going to talk about their products and services.
Wonderful. And I'm really excited to have Tony in studio. We had such a great time at her house, and
She's awesome.
Oh yeah, she's really wonderful.
sweet.
So we'll hear all about all the extensive work they've done at their cottage. So excited for next week already. If you've missed any part of the show, you can find it on WLNI.com or anywhere where you listen to podcasts. You can also follow us on social media at WLNIradio.com. And if you are looking for the latest issue of Home Magazine, which as we said is only out for another week or so.
Have it quick.
Yes, we're launching the summer issue on June 1st. You can find us online at homemagazineva.com or anywhere around town. We are racked at over 50 locations around town. So you can go check out Piedmont Floor Show or Accents or Huckleberry Knob. I could keep going. Or you could just go to cvhomemag.com and go to our distribution page and see where the nearest one is to you.
And it is free.
And it is free.
copy.
Yes. So thank you all for listening once again. Hope you have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend, and we will see you next week.